We all know the story. Modern technology powered by software and applications has quickly transformed our world. And that story continues to unfold before our very eyes. Software powers how we get smart to how we get things. From how we make money to how we manage it. From how we care for ourselves to how we care for our planet. And that software that powers our lives starts with you, the developer. And it begins with your everyday tasks, promoting a build before the end of the day, a collaborative team effort to develop that feature, securing the pipeline and making all of the customer experience possible. The software butterfly effect is happening right in front of us. To drive the next wave of innovation forward, you need strong, comprehensive, end-to-end tools that match how you work. You need a platform that understands the big picture, launching ideas from your keyboard all the way to production. You need to trust every line of code, every binary, every deployment system, every edge. Together with JFrog, we'll power a transforming world of liquid software that takes your ideas to an edge without borders. A world that lets you think bigger, deliver more, and pioneer the next generation of innovation. A DevOps-driven world that takes everything you're imagining and makes it a reality. Everything we deliver together today has a global impact. Welcome to the big picture of DevOps.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are privileged today to have with us a true expert who comes with 22 plus years of experience in enterprise sales, alliances, strategy, and planning for SaaS companies. Prior to JFrog, she has served in various roles in leading the global sales department at Flipkart, Microsoft, and Oracle. She is currently serving as the General Manager and Vice President of Sales Asia at JFrog. Through the lens of one of the biggest DevOps leaders at JFrog, today we have the honor of hearing from someone who joins us now to illuminate us with her vast experience and knowledge on how we can modernize DevOps from dev to device. So without much further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the one and only Ms. Kavita Viswanath, GM and VP Sales Asia at JFrog. Let's give the lady a bigger round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I can see the crowd has thinned out a little bit, but I'm glad you guys stayed. Happy to be here, very excited to be in Singapore. I'm coming here after 3 years, 3 COVID years, which feels like 30 to be honest. But it's always refreshing to be in Singapore because I feel this is the hubbub of technology where you speak with anyone and everyone is already on top of their game. So my job becomes easier and I feel I'm learning more from the community, from my customers and from the people I met here today. So super excited to be here. I'm going to take you through a journey of DevOps from JFrog perspective, which is a slightly different and a deeper lens from a binary management perspective. Before we do that, I want to take you through the evolution of DevOps and what we've been through over the past few years. Sometime back, our CEO mentioned that by 2020, every company will be a DevOps company. What does it really mean? In the late 90s and early 2000, I think the era was that of single language development. Anyone here as old as me who were Java developers, .NET developers back in the day? Okay, I'm happy to have some company of, old developers who started off from there. But I think cut to 2015, the whole game changed. It was no more about single language development. There were no back-end developers anymore. You had to take care of everything, and everyone became a full-stack developer, right? So you had to upgrade your skills, you had to learn new technologies and up your game because this is where the world was going as far as development was concerned. Then came Kubernetes. Within the first 2 years of launch, at least 25% of enterprises had already started adopting Kubernetes in some form or the other. And today, I think most people I meet, most organizations I interact with have already standardized on Kubernetes or are thinking of scale as far as microservices and containers are concerned. And this picked up really fast. What took us 15 years from single language to full stack, just happened in a couple of years of the whole Kubernetes microservices era that came in. Then came cloud, and it was not just cloud, it evolved into hybrid and multi-cloud. I think earlier in the day, someone spoke about why multi-cloud is more in demand, because organizations don't want vendor lock-in, or they want the best of the cloud, they want availability as far as regions are concerned. Tons of reasons in terms of why multi-cloud became more of a demand in the market. And hybrid became a very thought-through strategy because you didn't want to put everything on the cloud. You were conscious of cost, you were conscious of performance, and hybrid became one of the things that C-level folks, CTOs started focusing more on. Today, I wish I could say this was just a buzzword, but it's not. I think security keeps us up both day and night, and developers have become the main target of this security attack. More than securing your code, I think the focus has become in terms of how do you secure your enterprise. How many of you here are using more than one security tool in your enterprise? Show of hands. More than one security tool? Okay. More than two? Okay. I'm going to push this a little bit. More than three? Okay, I see 3 hands at least. So I think this is what I'm talking about. When it comes to security, you can never be sure. You have to single, double, triple protect your enterprise, and not just data and code, but also your binaries and other elements which come in your environment. And I think this has become the flavor of the current times. When we think about the pillars of software supply chain, and this is from JFrog perspective, there are 5 different stages as we think about it. Binaries or liquid binaries are the core theme, or is something that flows through the veins of the software supply chain, starting from the first phase, which is curation, where you're writing your code or you're sourcing your dependencies as far as curation is concerned. Then you move to the next stage of creation, where you're creating your builds or your releases using second and third party packages. Then you deliver the software or distribute it in your network or to your customers. And finally comes the stage of consumption, where you're actually using these packages, and you need to monitor and remediate and retire these phases. So what are the key challenges when you think about these stages of a software supply chain? I think the main thing here is about how do I manage my first, second, third party packages at scale. And now we're thinking about enterprises that are using 25, 30 different types of technologies with a distributed network of developers, some working from home, some working from the road, some working from the beach, some working from the office. And how do you ensure that security is built in every stage of your software supply chain? So when you think about curation, you want to make sure that the right secure packages are entering your enterprise. When you think about creation, you want to make sure that you're creating your builds with the right packages which your developers have access to. And you're releasing your code or your binaries to in a more secure way, which is getting consumed in the environment. When we think about security, I think research becomes a major enabler here. You cannot achieve a good security solution without really doing research and understanding what's really happening in this space. It's all about discovering new open source vulnerabilities. It's all about understanding and analyzing the new methods of attack. And I think this in itself is a whole new topic. Okay, how have attacks evolved over a period of time in terms of thinking like a developer, and how do you then build your attack strategy in that manner? And this is where JFrog has done a lot of research, where we have published a lot of blogs, reports around security threats, new vulnerabilities that we have found, and you can go through some of this on our website. When we think about vulnerabilities, one thing I would say is that these are getting constantly introduced in the software supply chain, almost on an hourly basis. There are third-party vulnerabilities, and then there are first-party vulnerabilities. The main challenge with first-party vulnerabilities is the fact that no one knows this, as well as the developer and the attacker who's trying to reverse engineer this whole thing from the binary perspective. And this is where thinking like a developer becomes crucial, because that's who they are actually going after. So here, developers need a reliable tool to hunt, learn, fix, and most importantly, remediate and jump fast to be able to ship your release on time. And I think this is where introducing security in every stage of your software supply chain becomes really relevant. Looking at the release journey, taking a shift right approach, when we think about security scanning, and I'm not talking about code security, I'm talking about embedding security in the next phases from package management, promoting your builds, to distributing it, to finally deploying it. At every stage, there is scanning with dependencies that needs to happen, along with validating the release. And this is where DevSecOps become a key focus for JFrog from a binary journey management perspective. Shifting left is all about having that control and managing what really enters your environment. Now, this has become an open world where developers have access to practically everything out there. So as an enterprise, how do you make sure that you have full control of what's entering your organization in terms of packages, the secure package types, the right packages that come in? How do you monitor it? How do you scan it? And how do you make this secure package available to your developer? And I think this is where the focus has shifted more left towards the developers. So this is a little bit of survey that we did in terms of trying to understand what's the volume of packages that we are really looking at. And we just took 5 different technologies which are recently being used, most popular ones, to understand the volume and control issue here. So let's just look at Go. Go has become the most popular language nowadays, with 65,000 new packages and 500,000 versions of this package. Imagine the volume of security threat and challenge that you have to face, or your developers have to go through when they're thinking about downloading any of this, and multiply this by 5, or the number of technologies that are being used in your enterprise. So this has become a high volume, zero control game, and this is where introducing security in every stage becomes crucial. When we think about package security, there are some key questions to be answered. Starting from, hey, is this a malicious package? Do I have the right license to use this? Is this maintained or is it outdated? How old is this? What are the new vulnerabilities that are discovered in this? So therefore, is it relevant for me to use this anymore? And how mature is it? Is it robust? Is it solid for me to go ahead and use this in my code? So if you look at the entire binary lifecycle journey from code to release, embedding security from left to right, and this is where our focus has been in terms of adding it from curation to deploy. I think this is a journey that we need to focus on outside of code security to make sure that ultimately the developer is responsible, but we are arming the developer with the right tools and the right platform so that whatever they download in terms of dependencies have security built into it. At the heart of all of this, I think the focus from a JFrog perspective is to say that how do you manage identified packages to reduce threats, to have a enterprise-grade solid platform from a DevOps and a DevSecOps perspective. Thank you.